Imagine for a moment that you have a superpower, a powerful tool inside you that can protect you, guide you, and help you navigate through life with clarity and confidence. What if I told you this tool is already within you and you've had access to it your entire life, but most of us never learn how to tap into it? That tool is your intuition. And in today's talk, I'm going to show you how strengthening this inner voice can help you avoid toxic relationships. Relationships that drain you, confuse you, and hold you back from your full potential. Let's start with this question. Have you ever ignored that gut feeling? That one where something just doesn't feel right and ended up in a situation that left you hurt, confused, or frustrated? I know many of us have. And what if I told you that by strengthening your intuition, you could learn to hear that inner voice more clearly and make better decisions before you even get in too deep? Well, that's what we're going to explore today. Before we dive deeper, let's take a moment to define intuition. Simply put, intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. It's the voice inside you that just knows. You've felt it before, haven't you? The moment when you met someone new and there is an inexplicable feeling that this person is not right for you, but you choose to ignore it only to regret it later. Intuition is not some mystical abstract concept. It's a real psychological phenomenon that comes from your subconscious mind, drawing on your past experiences, patterns, and the energy around you. When you've been hurt or betrayed, your intuition becomes finely tuned to pick up on red flags, often before your logical mind can even process them. Now, here is where we get real. Toxic relationships don't always come with flashing neon signs. In fact, they are often disguised as something wonderful at first. The person may appear charming, loving, or charismatic in the beginning, but there are small, subtle signs that your intuition is trying to warn you if you are paying attention. Do you remember the first time you met someone who seemed too good to be true? Did you notice a slight discomfort or a feeling of being off about them, but you brushed it aside because they were so charismatic or perfect on the surface? Here is the thing. When you start to ignore your intuition, you set yourself up for unnecessary pain. Your gut feeling is not just a random thought, it's your mind and body processing millions of information about someone and telling you what they might not be saying out loud. It's the raised eyebrows when someone is too pushy, the hesitation when a person's word doesn't match their actions, or that little voice inside your head saying something doesn't add up. Trust me, if you can learn to listen to those subtle signals, you'll be able to avoid toxic relationships before they even begin to take root. So, how do you strengthen this amazing tool inside of you? It's not about making big changes all at once. It's about small practices and developing a relationship with your intuition. Here is how. Number one, mindfulness and awareness. Your intuition works best when you are calm and centered. Mindfulness is key. When you are constantly on autopilot, running from one task to the next, you'll miss the subtle signs your body is sending. But when you practice mindfulness, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a moment to breathe and reflect, you tune into your inner self. You start to recognize how your body feels in different situations and what those feelings are telling you. When you are in a new situation or meeting someone new, take a deep breath, slow down, pay attention to how your body reacts to their words, their energy, and their actions. Do you feel tension, uncertainty, or do you feel peace and alignment? Your intuition is often communicating through your body. Listen closely. Number two, recognize patterns. We've all been in relationships that left us feeling drained or hurt. The key to strengthening your intuition lies in understanding patterns. Your past relationships, whether friendships, family connections, or romantic involvements, hold valuable lessons. Look back at those experiences and ask yourself, what were the red flags I missed? How did my body feel when I was with them? Did my mind try to warn me, but I ignored it? Recognizing these patterns is like training your intuition to become more accurate. You'll start to notice these signs quicker the next time around. That leads to my next point. Set boundaries and trust your no. One of the biggest ways people ignore their intuition is by failing to set clear boundaries. Boundaries are not just physical, they are emotional, psychological, and spiritual. When you have healthy boundaries, you give your intuition room to speak. You give yourself the space to say no when something doesn't feel right. But here is the kicker. Saying no becomes a lot easier when you learn to trust your intuition. Trust that little voice that tells you when something isn't right. You don't owe anyone an explanation for trusting yourself, for stepping away from a relationship or situation that feels off. When you honor your intuition, you are building a stronger sense of self respect. And let me tell you, people who respect themselves have a magnetic presence. Toxic individuals are less likely to try to manipulate or take advantage of someone who sets firm boundaries and trusts their gut. Number 4, quiet the noise around you. We live in a world full of distractions, constant noise, opinions, advice, and external pressures. It's so easy to let the world drown out our inner voice. But to truly strengthen your intuition, you must create space for it to be heard. Start practicing moments of silence. Take walks without your phone. Sit in nature and spend time in solitude. These moments will allow your inner voice to speak more clearly. The quieter your surroundings, the louder your intuition becomes. Now, here is one last truth I want to share with you. Your intuition is closely tied to how much you love and value yourself. If you don't believe that you deserve healthy, fulfilling relationships, you are less likely to listen to your inner voice when it tells you to walk away from toxic ones. Self love is the foundation of all of this. The more you practice self compassion, the stronger your intuition becomes. Why? Because when you know your worth, you won't settle for anything less than what you deserve. You'll recognize that you don't need to tolerate mistreatment or manipulation. As you begin to value yourself more, you'll find that your intuition grows stronger. Your choices become more aligned with your true needs, and toxic relationships will no longer have a place in your life. Now, here is where the rubber meets the road. The work starts with you. Strengthening your intuition requires action. It requires you to stop dismissing your gut feeling and start trusting yourself. Every time you listen to your intuition and avoid toxic relationships, you are reinforcing the power of that inner voice. So, next time you meet someone new or you find yourself questioning a relationship, whether it's personal or professional, ask yourself, what does my intuition say? How does my body feel? What do I really need? When you trust yourself, you begin to shape the future you deserve. To wrap up, let me leave you with this. Your intuition is your ally, your protector, your guide. It's the voice that has been trying to help you avoid toxic relationships all along. The more you listen, trust, and honor it, the more you'll step into a future filled with healthy, empowering relationships, one that lifts you up instead of tearing you down. Remember, trust yourself. Your intuition knows the way, and when you follow it, your life will change in ways you never imagined. Thank you, and I do hope to see you in my next video.